Hello, Duranis here, and welcome to episode 4 of Feed the Beast on the Damnation server. A little bit of an update first off. Let's just jump into bat mode and fly on over here. So I've done a bit more texturing on this big robot walker thing. It's only the first set of textures, and I'm probably going to put a secondary texture over some of this and some micro blocks and some other bits as well, just to make it look cool. But I kind of like the colour scheme. I've sort of got a blade-like light colour there with a dark colour. I've got the lava blocks there, which have a nice particle effect too, but I'm probably going to put something over the top of them just so they're not so they kind of stand out a little bit too much. They need maybe some sort of a grating type thing over there, so that's what I'm going to add to that. They're all more or less the same colour, I think. I don't think I've missed any bits. I'm not 100% sure on the construction tape again. I do really like it and I want to use it, but it might be a bit much again, but maybe I'll see when it all comes together. Today, one of the big problems I have when I played Feed the Beast, especially in this mod pack when there's just so much stuff, is that I have the attention span of a goldfish. So literally it's be doing all of this, then, oh, new shiny thing, let's go and play with that, and then, oh, there's another one, let's go play with that. So the problem is that nothing ever really gets finished. Like, this was supposed to be a temporary setup just for a workshop to get going, and I just keep adding chests with crap everywhere because I've not got my logistics system working yet and all that kind of thing. I've still got big holes in the walls. I've still not finished off the texturing on the outside here. I've still not finished these big tank things on the side. This window's still here, so what I plan to do today is I want to get at least the outside part of this building done. So I want to sort this window out. There's a few bits I want to do in the roof as well. I want to get the windmill over here, and I want to get all of these holes in the walls sort of filled up. And I might not get all the detailing done on it today. There's quite a few ideas I've got for adding little details to this, which are going to take some time. But if I can just get the bulk of it done today, I'd be pretty happy, and then I can carry on working. There's a lot of other things I want to get into. I need to get my mob spawners running again. I want to get some... I need to get some farms going and some meat grinding going so I can get some pink slime for my MFR lasers. I need to get the boilers going as well to power them. So lots of stuff I want to get into, but I want to get this finished first. So I'm going to be doing that now. What I'll do is I'll just update as I go along, and as we make some progress here, I'll just come back and show what's going on. So I'll see you in a moment. So, welcome back, and I've done some more work on the outside here, but I did get a little bit distracted by new shiny things. So I'll go over the updates on the build here, and then we'll go and look at the new shiny toys. Woohoo! So I've added more textures to these tanks. This is aluminium brass, and I've micro blocked it to look like supports. The nice thing with these carpenter's blocks is if you put a seed on there, it gives like that grass edge texture to it. And I would like it if it was a different colour, but I'll have to live with the green. We've got open blocks tanks in here, which I might have to change because we've discovered that open blocks tanks are extremely laggy. They're not too bad as a single block tank, but the problem is that they update every single tank in the system. So if you have a tank made of 100 blocks, it will update every 100 blocks. So these shouldn't be too bad because the liquid's not going to move in them, and I'm not going to be updating them all the time. So I'll do some tests later. I'm actually an admin on the server, so I'll test that out, check the lagginess of it. We're still sort of working out what's the maximum size that's sort of safe before it starts becoming a problem. We had quite a bit of lag on the server, and since we've removed a few of these big open block tank systems, it's been a lot better. So that's that. I've got this window bit on the side here just to sort of add something else there and to sort of open it up a bit more inside and get a bit more light inside. I kind of like how that fits in. It sort of works. We've added the front on here. We've got a walkway out here. I need to get some more lights to add on here. We've added this winch bit here, and we've got... I really like this bit. It's got like the rope coming down, and it's got a claw part in it that seems to be like pulling this tree out of the tree farm. Tree farm I'm still not running yet. Also, we've got another tree farm there, which I'll go into briefly in a second. I took off all of the secondary textures on here, all of the the chiseled fences that I had. Didn't really like it. It looked a bit too busy and messy and sort of quite dark from a distance, whereas this sort of brightens it up a bit. I added these supports in, which is factory blocks and again the aluminium brass, which I think works quite well, especially once I get a few more sort of lights and other little fitting bits on here. I'm going to have some like planters and stuff. Added quite a lot of these vines and leaf textures and all sorts to the top just to sort of give it a bit of age. That vine I don't actually want going down that far, so I'll have to sort that out later, but I just add something in there just to stop that growing down quite so much. This side here I haven't done anything with yet, mostly because I'm going to have another build in here fairly soon, and I don't really know how much space I'm going to have to play with, and I might not have a windmill on that side. I might have maybe a walkway out and then a bridge going across to the next building. What else have we done here? Still got that window there, again, just because there's a couple of things that I want to do and I'm not sure what I'm going to use that space for yet. Let's quickly drop back inside, and we'll see in here that the assembly table's gone, the thermal expansion machines are gone. I've still not moved the rest of this stuff yet, but I've started moving it all up to this level. So this is where my storage was before, and the storage has moved up a level because I needed more space, and this is going to be my sort of machine room. So this is going to be the workshop room. One problem that I've had, and it's been a pretty big problem. That's a weird texture. So I distracted shiny things. Yeah, big problem I've had is thermal expansion. The conduits and the piping systems basically work as multi-block structures now, apparently. And the problem is that when they cross chunk boundaries, and it seems even when you've got all of the chunks loaded, they break across the chunk boundaries. So you have power systems that won't power properly because it breaks every time it crosses a chunk. Item ducts in my sorting system, the item ducts I was using there, it basically deleted the items every time it crossed the chunk boundary, even after I removed the whole thing and replaced it all. So tried to get away from using the thermal expansion liquid ducts and item ducts. That's just been sitting there draining power. I'm using these extra utilities transfer nodes, and I've got the ender receptors to wirelessly transmit power. They're not exactly ideal either, because as soon as you go out of the area and come back in again, even if it's chunk loaded, basically they lose connection. So you have to remove the receptor and put it back in again. At the moment, my main power source is this. So again, I just got to remove that. See, it says holding 0 RF, and I put it back in, and it charges back up again. So this is running on liquid glowstone and blaze powder in reactant dynamos, and that's producing a fair amount of power. And I've got it coming out here to these, again, energy nodes, and these are using the transmitters. So for short range RF transfer, they work, but there are issues. The other problem with these is I thought maybe I can automate it so you can pull these out and push them back in just by pressing a button. So when I leave the area and come back in, I can press a button and it will pull all of these out and put them back in. Problem is that these don't connect. You can't connect pipes to them. You can't connect hoppers to them. I haven't tried golems, but I don't know how you can automate a golem with a redstone signal, so I don't know if I could get that to work. I'm going to try factorization routers, so I'll press a button, it will activate the router, pull it out, push it into another router that will push it back in again. Because the routers can normally work with most inventories, even where pipes normally don't, so that will hopefully fix that problem. At the moment, I just have to manually take them out and put them back in, which isn't a big deal, but I prefer not to have to do manual stuff like that every time, because I will forget to do it. Here is my new sorting system, still a work in progress. I just wanted to get it up and running. So very similar to what I had before, barrels. I've got deep storage units now as well, for the items that I'm going to be creating a ton of. A lot of these I found also a nice thing which is called the void upgrade for the barrels, which basically you can put it on as the barrels, and from that point onwards, once the barrels are full, it will still accept items, but it will just delete them when they come in, so you don't have to worry about things overflowing and clogging the system up. Back here, this is basically the same system as what I had down there before, but I've compacted it quite a bit. And I've also added in logistics pipes because they don't have the issues with crossing the chunks. So more or less the same deal. I've got logistics pipes pulling out here and using them to filter. So I've got the different ores going into the different machines to be processed. I've added automatic glass, sand and cobble production because I was running out of glass, sand and cobble. So that's quite useful. So it basically goes through the system, gets filtered out into the various machines, just using basic pipes for the filtering. So let's grab a wrench and have a quick look at this. So yeah, gold and copper comes down, actually goes up into this chest here, and then that feeds down into here. The thermal expansion conduits and that, they're okay if you keep them all within the same chunk. They seem to be okay. It's when you've got long networks that go across multiple chunks that they seem to glitch out quite a lot. Let's just do that while we're here. So yeah, I don't want to have to be going around and doing that to every single connection. So I'll come up with something later on for that, but for the moment it'll do. This is the power for the logistics pipes. Doesn't seem to take a whole lot of power. So yeah, it goes through all the system. It all gets pushed through. I'm just using iron pipes to do the routing on these bits because I don't need anything particularly special. Comes into here. It should all go into this chest first, which will then go into the router and go through the system that I've shown you before. If this chest, for whatever reason, happens to be full, then it will feed into this chest, this chest, this chest, and this chest. So they're just sort of overflow, and I will just add a void pipe on there or a trash can. But I don't see it ever overflowing to that extent because I never leave things running for that much, and I normally add overflow onto the machines that are running and producing the items rather than having it here. So yeah, that's the updates from here. So yeah, new shiny things, okie dokie. So I started, I needed more black ink for one, so I made a small-ish MFR farm with the black stained leaves, black stained trees, and that's just got me a bunch of the black stained saplings which you can use for black ink. It's messing around with the cows and the sewers and the fertilizer, which does speed it up a lot. In here as well, I also have the, I think they're open blocks or extra utilities. Let's have a look. There's one here. And I'm looking right at you. Open blocks. Open block sprinklers with the aqueous accumulators underneath, which does speed up the growth quite a bit as well, especially combined with the fertilizer. So that goes really quickly when it's going, but I've turned it off because I don't need more charcoal at the moment. I don't need more of the saplings, so no point having it there. Do really like this tree. Other shiny things that I've got here. Okay, let's go to this one here. See what my attention spans are like. It's, ooh, this thing. No, this thing. So, yes, mob system. Let's start from the top. So I moved my mob system from over there and I've set it up over here. I've actually set this up twice because I started off with the open blocks tank that I had before and also the all of the liquid ducts and all of this was crossing boundaries and was causing major issues. Let's just reset that. So yeah, I've got my spawners in there and they're all coming down to these grinders. That's making the mob essence. I'm at the moment using the drums just to store the mob essence, which works fine. I might carry on using them because they're quite good. You can pick them up, move them around where you need them. Over here, this is going to be dedicated just to spawning the blaze rods, and they will be pumped over to my power system over there. And over here is going to be my general purpose spawner. I've actually set it up at the moment for villagers. I've got a smelter underneath, and I can just open this up and drop the villagers in. So I might keep this just dedicated for villagers and set another one up on top for sort of multi-purpose spawning for if I need to spawn any particular mob in. Over here I have wisps, which are, I've not powered it at the moment, but they're just generating the essence. I've noticed with these filing cabinets, see here it says 159, but it said 0 before. Let's find that one. So that says I've already got 1 in there, but then when I click on it, I've got 189. So there's a weird thing with the stacking in there, which I'm not sure if I'm actually going to lose the items from that or not if I try and pump them out. But for the moment, it's working, and this doesn't work quite as fast as I thought. It's great for the primal essences, but for the rest of the essences, not so useful. I've got a blank space over here, which is going to be sort of the entranceway to this level. Glowstone there. That actually needs to be moved. Over here is my infusion altar, and it's actually slightly different configuration to what I normally have. Normally I have the 2 pedestals here as well, but for the recipe I was using, it made more sense to have it like that. It was much more balanced. And I've got enough jars here to have 3 jars of every essence, which I should be able to craft pretty much everything from 3 jars. Just filling up all of the essences now. I've got most of the main ones. There's a few odd ones here that I haven't put in yet. I'm using golems just to fill them up. So basically I chuck the items in here, they put them all out of there, and that fills up. I'm going to refine this a little bit more later on. So my plan is, and I'm not sure how viable it is at the moment, to have a different, what are these called? Alchemical furnace and embolic and all of that set up for each essence, and then I can pump in an item for each essence automatically with logistics pipes. So anytime I run out of an essence, I can hit my remote orderer. I can say I need X amount of this essence. It will pull in the right amount of items to create just enough essence to fill that up, and it will do it all automatically. So that's the plan for that, because it's a pain in the butt having to look up each essence, what items I need, and manually adding it in and all of that when I just want to make 1 item. The downside on that is I have to find items that I can mass produce to create each essence, and I have to set up a furnace for each essence. So that's going to be 52 furnaces. I might get away with doing less because, for example, like some items you might create this essence and this essence, so I could use a furnace to create that, but then I'm going to have overflow. So I'll see how it goes. I'm not too sure if I'm going to be able to get it to work properly without creating a massive system, but I don't really mind creating massive systems. So down here I'm going to have Ars Magica and Blood Magic. So that's going to go in there. I've also spaced this house out so I can have the beacons for the Blood Magic altars that will go all the way up through the building out the top. Haven't 100% decided on the outside of the building, but I've got some ideas for how I want that to look. This mech thing, I'm going to still have the building part on top, and I'm still going to have my MFR lasers in there, but that's sort of put on the back burner just for the moment. And over here, I've been messing around with the Lamp of Growth, which I've got automated Herba, yeah, essentially being produced, and this makes things grow, especially the vanilla crops, grow extremely quick. So you can see how quick these cactuses are growing, and basically they pop off and drop down. This isn't a very efficient layout. I'm losing a lot of the cactus drops just by them landing back on cactus. There'd be better ways to do it, but for the moment this is working for me. It's basically dropping down, falls into the vacuum hoppers, they go into the chests, and then they get pulled up into this barrel here. So that's gradually building up excess cactus, and then this melts it down, and the I can never remember the essence name, the water one and the whatever this one is, they basically get put into these void jars, and the herba gets pushed out to here, and I can basically pump this cactus then to these setups anywhere that I want. And I've been messing around with the magical crops. Why is there one missing from there? So yeah, magical crops. These are really good when combined with other mods such as Formcraft and Ars Magica that speed up crop growth. They're a little bit overpowered, to be honest. I imagine I can probably mass produce materials from this really, really quickly once I build the whole system. So I'm going to build it, but I might not necessarily use it because it kind of feels a little bit cheaty. On the other side of that, there's a lot of manual work in in getting it set up and going up through the tiers of crops. And you can automate a lot of it, but again, because we've not got tesseracts and the auto crafting options are limited, it takes a lot more to get it automated, but that's what I'm going to be doing. This is a system I was just using to produce seeds, basically pistons here on a timer, and then smart pistons over here, just vanilla smart pistons over here. Bone meal, timer pushes it across, smart piston pushes it back, all the seeds fall down, go down to a vacuum hopper, and then get dropped into here. Not the most lag friendly of things, so I've only used it when people haven't been online, and I just needed it just to get some of the magical essence seeds. It was pretty quick to do it, and this is going to be dismantled because I'm not going to really need it again. Now I've got a stack of the magical essence seeds. I don't think I'm ever going to need more than that. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the moment. I'm really liking the way that this building's looking, and I sort of have a good vision of how I want at least the next couple of builds to go. So this build over here, and this next building I'm going to put here, which is going to be the farm building for the magical crops and for the normal crops as well. I have a pretty good idea on how that's going to come out. And yeah, I've got a good idea on how it's going to go, which I think is going to look awesome as well. But it's all quite time consuming to do. It's actually been a couple of days since the last video clip to set all of this up. Next thing I'm going to do is set up my Ars Magica here. And I think I'm probably going to do that on the next level down. And then I'll have the Blood Magic on this bottom one here. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me just quickly check how long this video has been, and if it's not been that long, I'll maybe set up the Ars Magica altars over here. So 2 seconds. So yeah, that's been about 20 minutes of the video, so I'm not going to start anything else now. I think next episode what I'm going to do is I'll set up my Ars Magic altars and the Nexus and all of that stuff, and maybe get the machines running there, because I want to get the growth sigils. And yeah, they'll maybe start laying out the building for the farms, and see what else happens. I'll probably get distracted by something new. So yeah, until next time, hope you enjoyed the video. If you like it, please hit a like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye bye.